The views and opinions expressed by the guests, callers, and hosts on this and all Rense Radio Network programs do not necessarily reflect or agree with those of the network, its commercial sponsors, its radio station affiliates, or internet broadcast platforms. In these controversial times, we believe the First Amendment and freedom of the press are absolutely essential to the survival of our nation. Thank you. And now, enjoy the program.
Okay, welcome back. It is 9/11 of 2014. Lots and lots of essays and articles and opinions, op-eds have been offered up on this 13th anniversary, if that's the right word, of the September 11th attack on America by America, or what purports to represent itself to be America, i.e. various parts of our government. There are a number of things to be said about the quality of writing. I think it's generally very good. Most of the writers that I publish and post get it. I don't even want to go into the mainstream media and hear what they have to say about it. They're probably still talking about box cutters and Arabs and so forth. But tonight we get to spend our first hour with Gerald Celente, the master of trends, a man who has watched this country go through its death spin, its spiral into oblivion, probably more acutely and closely than anyone else I know. And I want to welcome him, and then I'm going to read just a little bit to you, then we're going to get to our conversation. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. How am I? I'm very sad.
Yeah.
I was crying a lot today, actually.
Yeah, understood. Absolutely understood.
And what made me cry was listening to a Joan Baez song. Uh-huh. Johnny, We Hardly Knew You.
Oh, yeah.
And an old, Irish tune.
Yeah.
And when you hear her sing and you listen to the words, it's so sad, and it just keeps repeating itself. And your legs are gone, you're blind, your arms, on and on.
Yeah.
And always under the guise that you're doing something great to protect us, Johnny. And in reality, a bunch of psychopaths and sociopaths are sending the people to slaughter. Next
to organized religion, human religion, probably the biggest lie of all, that one. Going off to save the world.
I have to tell you, after watching Obama's speech last night,
you're tougher than I am.
And I have to.
I
have to get the tempo, and
of course,
I want to feel what the emotion was and how it was presented.
Yeah.
What the prostitutes are saying about it.
Yeah, all carefully crafted stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And each night, as part of the subscription to the TrendsJournal, I do Trends in the News. Mm-hmm. And I ended it with that Joan Baez song.
That's
and as
nice.
I'm listening to the song, I have to tell you, I started crying. And I am so sad that we learn absolutely nothing from war, and the slaughter continues. And it just keeps building and building and building, and psychopaths make excuses as to why it's okay to kill other people. And nothing has really changed. And now we're at a critical point where the next war will be the one that Einstein had forecast. He said, I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the fourth will be fought with sticks and stones.
He's right on the money. This day, 9/11, again, the subject of an awful lot of writing and thought. Let me read just a few paragraphs. Michael Hoffman wrote this. He's a very fine writer, has his own opinions of things, of course, but he wrote, today is the 13th anniversary of the U.S. government's attack on its own people at the Pentagon and the World Trade Center in New York City. In November, we will observe the 51st anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy by the CIA in cooperation with the U.S. Secret Service that was sworn to protect him. The U.S. was never the same after the killing of our president. The people were transformed, as was the nation. The same is rightly said of September 11th, 2001. It was a landmark in the systemic psychological warfare inflicted on the American people. What is the message of successful conspiracies like these? First, that those responsible for investigating the criminal conspiracy, the top cops, judges, lawmakers, and journalists, neglected to do so. They chose their careers and creature comforts over bringing traitors to justice. I like that. Simple, but true.
Yep.
Now
and
we
it's
have
been going on. Yeah.
We have another thing. Oh God! Again, the volumes. Look at the mileage. The conspirators, the evil ones, beyond description, evil, got out of killing 2,700 plus Americans and demolishing in broad daylight 2 condemned high-rise buildings in New York City, which paid Larry Silverstein, $4.5 billion he got for it. This has so many layers and levels to it. The day before, folks, remember what happened the day before the Pentagon? Who made the announcement? The comptroller of the Pentagon. That how much was missing, Gerald? To $2.5 trillion? Something. Some enormous amount. Zackheim. Enormous amount of money went missing. And that was announced the day before 9/11, on the 10th. So we have problems in this country. And I looked today, I was out for a bit, and there were some kids, middle school kids, I don't know what you call it back there, in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, 13 years old. They're no longer in elementary school. And you know, a lot of them are doing drugs, let's be honest, having sex. They weren't even born on 9/11. They were born after. In another few years, they'll be 20, 21. It won't take long. And we'll have a whole generation of people who were born after September 11th. And they'll never understand. They'll never feel what you just so eloquently described. And they'll be lining up and signing up, and this cabal of non-humans will be sending our boys and girls, our teenagers, off to kill other boys and girls, moms and dads, somewhere around the world. There'll always be a venue. We'll never stop. It's all about money. It's all about greed. It's all about evil. And it won't stop.
Well, I think it will stop.
I hope you're right, my friend.
No, it'll stop if we don't stop it, because, as I said, this will be the war that Einstein predicted. It'll be a war of weapons of mass destruction. It'll be a nuclear war. It'll be a war of biological warfare.
Oh, for
It'll
sure.
be a war of hell.
It'll be a war of extermination.
War of mass destruction.
Yeah.
And that's what people can't get in their head.
No, they can't. It is, the next war will be, an extermination event.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying to you, no, it won't keep going. You phrased it the best I've heard yet. An extermination event. Here we are at the 100th anniversary of World War I. A war that destroyed civilization as it was just beginning to flourish throughout Europe. A war that created the foundation for World War II, and it has also created the foundation for World War III. World War I, World War II, 3 strikes, you're out. What did they do? The colonial imperialists from Europe invaded the Middle East and Africa. They overthrew the Ottoman Empire. Following World War I, the Sykes-Picot, 2 bureaucrats, a Frenchman and a Brit, drew up these countries and created them that never existed before. Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, one after another. A bunch of arrogant little boys and girls from other countries, colonists, drew a map of the Middle East.
It's like a board game.
And it created, and not only that, it created the foundation, World War I, when Woodrow Wilson, the great trader of America, who brought us the Federal Reserve in World War I, a slimy Princeton piece of crap. If you want to know 6 words that have destroyed America, Jeff, it's Harvard, Princeton, Yale, bullets, bombs, and banks. A bunch of guys and women with bad attitudes who think they're better than the rest of us. And the piece of slime called Woodrow Wilson, he laid the foundation of the destruction of America with the creation of the Federal Reserve System and World War I. He is the man that destroyed this nation more than anyone. Another Princeton piece of slime. I've had it with these Ivy League guys. These little boys. These little women who talk tough and don't have a pair of cojones among them. Little guys like Kerry, always shooting his mouth off. A little wanker like Bill Clinton, Slick Willie, one after another.
An adult.
These are the people that have destroyed America. So go back to World War I.
Yeah.
And what did they do?
Yeah.
They destroyed the world. They set the stage for today. They cut it up. They set the stage for Nazi Germany. They destroyed Russia with the Bolshevik Revolution because Woodrow Wilson took us to war. A war that was ready to end. Countries had gone bankrupt. They were ready to call a truce. Madmen started it, and Wilson made it worse. And FDR ratcheted it up again.
Thank you.
And then George W. Oh, I forgot about Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah.
I forgot about slimy Nixon. I forgot about Bill Clinton with Yugoslavia and Bosnia. I forgot about George Bush with Afghanistan and Iraq. I forgot about the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Obama, with destroying Libya.
Oh, yeah.
Another, what was he, a Yale? He was a Harvard man. A Harvard man. I've had it with these guys.
Yeah, he just declared unending open-ended war again on what's left of the Middle East. I guess you watched him last night.
I have had it with these Ivy League jerks.